Welcome. Welcome to the Living Word Masterclass. Welcome, Marquise. Welcome, Sarah. David is back here doing the audio. And I just want to take a moment and just thank you for being here. The Living Word Masterclass, like what it's evolving into is that I'm starting to see is there was a time where I would speak death on myself and on the people around me and my environment. Like I wouldn't be using my words to create life. And so the words of death, like they were words of shame and words of guilt and judgment and all these things that produced fruits in my life that I didn't like. So I just want to welcome you to this space. And if you have something to say, just raise your hand or do this, or you can just raise your hand on the react button. And so let's just start off with a prayer, and then we will begin with a song and get right into it. So let's just take a deep breath in. Letting it all go. God, we thank you for your presence today, and we welcome you here in our hearts and in this space as we surrender to your will, for your will to be done through each and every one of us. As we empty our minds and our opinions and our thought patterns and our beliefs and everything that no longer serves us, we just leave it all at the door, God, and we thank you for speaking powerfully through us, for transformation, for transforming our lives, and for your unconditional love reaching all the depths and in the places where love may not have seemed to be present, where there's illusions. We just thank you for your love to come into those spaces today. Thank you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
It's okay if you are broken. That's a great place to be. It's okay if you are weak. Yeah. So weak you can get off your knees. Let's be honest, we're all the same. No one's righteous, we're all insane. Step in the light, let it go and let yourself be known. Let's tell the world that we're sinners and not really saints. We're not good, we're just good at saving face. So get off the high horse and get on your knees. You don't have to be clean. one's righteous, we're all insane. Step in the light, let it go and let yourself be known. Let's tell the world that we're sinners and not really saints. We're not good, we're just good at saving face. So get off your high horse and get on your knees. You don't have to be clean, you just gotta come clean. Let's tell the world that we're sinners and not really saints. 'Cause we're only saved by grace. Everybody sins the same. Everything is everything.
Breakdown right here.
Don't hide, don't play those games. Oh, be free, don't be a slave. That's right, we're saved by grace. If you ever told a lie, lift your voice and harmonize. We're saved because he died. Oh, not because how hard we tried. That's right, we're saved by grace. We're saved by grace. We're saved by grace. We're saved by grace, yeah. Let's tell the world that we're sinners and not really saints. We're not good, we're just good at saving face. So get off your high horse and get on your knees. You don't have to be clean, you just gotta come clean. Let's tell the world that we're sinners and not really saints. 'Cause we're only saved by grace.
Oh, that's a new jam, isn't it? Got that one from Kirk, and I was like, "Dang, you just know it." He likes the beat, the funky groove, and I'm like, "Damn, those words, though, you know, like I'm a word person." And he's like, "I knew you'd probably like those words." So I just really loved it. It's like, get off your high horse and get on your knees. You don't have to be clean, you just gotta come clean. Let's tell the world we're sinners and not really saints. Yeah, I really love that. That's really beautiful.
So today, or actually this week, one of the distinctions are commitment. And prior to this class, Sarah and I were talking about we were just talking about our divine union and how this commitment has really just transformed our life. And so we're gonna be sharing today things along our journey that have had an impact on myself and her and the fruits of that. And so if you guys have any questions for Sarah or myself, bring it on. And yeah, I welcome questions, inquiries, comments, whatever. So I'm gonna start off with just today, just prior to the class, we had, today we got up early. It was 6 o'clock in the morning, and I rushed out of bed because my alarm clock, usually I have it set for 5 a.m., and for some reason, I didn't have the alarm, it didn't go off. The beeper didn't go off, it vibrated, but I didn't hear it. And so all of a sudden, I recognized that it was 10 till 6, and then we had hands on the land today. So it was this interesting way of getting out of bed. So anyways, I say all that to say that today I've been a little bit tired, and earlier after our breakfast meeting, we both laid down to take a nap. And so I feel a lot better now, by the way, after taking the nap.
Thank you for
It was
that.
a really great gift.
Thank God for naps.
Yeah. And so,
You remember where you were?
yeah, on the naps.
Not just the naps, the direction of the.
Yeah, so I guess the direction, I'm going to leave that there for now, and I'll come back to that, but we've been on this 40-day challenge, and the nap has to do with the 40-day challenge, and I'll come back to that later. But I want to leave that there for now, and then we're going to come back and bring us up to speed with how the 40-day challenge played out today in our life, and just how it, like what it brought up in both of us. So
Can you tell the people that are watching what the 40-day challenge is and like what all it entails?
yes, and please, if I miss anything, like I want to, yeah. So the 40-day challenge came about because of, actually, why don't you speak of this? You share about how it came about, and then if you feel called to
Okay.
share what it is. I don't mind if you share what it is as well.
Okay. So we've been on a 40-day challenge. Specifically, it was designed about 30-something days ago. I forget exactly what day we're
Are you
on.
actually counting down?
Well, I had kind of stopped, but for the nature of this,
Okay.
I'm wanting to remember. It's like 30-something days. I think we're close to 40. Monday, like about 4 weeks ago, I said that I wanted to have a gift because David, one of our family members here, one of our village members, was like, "There's something off with you two. I can't really tell what the F it is, but there's something off between the two of you." And I'm like, "You're right." I leaned in. I'm like, "There has been something off. You are correct, and we're working on that." I feel like I've been in my masculine role for a very long time, and I feel like Dennis has been inside of his feminine role. And I'm like, regardless of there being judgment, like there was judgment definitely coming at my way. I was like, it wasn't present for me. You know, there was no, like, I'm going to listen to the gift because there's 99% gift and there's probably 1% judgment in what this person is saying to me. And instead of that, I'm going to take the 99% of the gift and excuse the judgment and receive it. And I received it fully. And I asked John for a gift. You know, I'm like, I'm here for the gift. I want to know what I could do to step forward and be in my divine feminine. And he, not all lessons are for all people, okay? And I just want to shout this out to anybody who's watching this at any time. Not all lessons are for all people. I had gotten really pissed off at John saying help meet. And help meet in the Bible is someone that is next to you, walking on this path and walking on this journey with you and supporting a man in his divine role that's leading to Christ. But I didn't hear that the first time that I heard it. I thought it was M-E-A-T, not M-E-E-T. And so I thought I was a help meet. You know, I'm just a piece of meat, you know? I'm like, oh, shit. And so... Yeah. So I was pissed off. I'm wanting to, like, you know, punch John's jugular and all this stuff during the Remember experience. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. I'm not no help meet. And he was like, okay, well, do you really want the gift, Sarah? Because it's, you're going to do the help meet challenge. And it's not M-E-E-T. It's M-E-A-T. Now, I'm letting you know, like, this is not lessons for all people all the time. I'm in a divine union. I'm in a marriage. And what I was doing was saying yes when I wanted it and saying no to him and not receiving him fully. And so what was the gift in all of this is that I'm actually being a receiver. I'm actually being a feminine. I'm actually trusting and supporting my man. And I actually am being developed into the gift of what help meet is, M-E-E-T, not M-E-A-T. And I had to break through my perspective and not use my body as a tool to withhold love from my husband because of my fears, my illusions, my perspectives of what I thought it was, what it's supposed to be. And, you know, I'm been trying to get on this journey of like, what is the right thing? I've been using my body so many different ways and like the wrong ways that I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that. And so I'm like, help me see like what I'm supposed to be doing inside of this union. And it was completely opposite of what I thought that it was going to be. And it has been the greatest gift, and I don't ever want it to change. And now, you want to go into what happened today? Because you want to tell them what happened today?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. So, you know, we laid down to take a nap after we had our roundtable here and community lunch, and yeah, like I get aroused. Like I laid down and I go to kiss Sarah and I give her a kiss and she turns away, and because we were watching The Chosen, I'm like.
And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to watch the movie because I'm fucking tired. I'm like, I want to go to bed, you know, I want to like relax and watch this thing. But I didn't say shit. I was not direct. I didn't say nothing. I just turned my cheek and started watching the movie. And then, yeah, so keep going.
And I'm like, dang, I was like, for a moment, I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, she's just gonna ignore me? Like, what the fuck? Like, I had this moment where I felt that. And then I just surrendered it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I was really tired, and so I just closed my eyes and I asked God to assist me in falling asleep, and here I am, like, and we just had this moment where we talked about it prior to this class, where what I felt on the inside at that moment was like a little bit of like I did feel rejected, I guess, in that moment. But it was very brief. Like it doesn't do anything on the inside if, actually it did do something on the inside. So I feel okay, like, that was my intention, was to take a nap, so.
But it wasn't, okay, so that the Help Me Challenge, let me just say this even further. When he says it's time to go, we go.
And by going,
and not, I don't have a say in it. Like, I'm not supposed to, so I didn't say nothing. You know, like my ego. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say no, but my energy fucking said no,
Yeah.
no, you know? And so I did say that energetically.
Yeah.
And so right after we woke up, I went to him and I repented. I was like, I did this with my energy. And he was like, I fucking saw that shit. And so I just, again, like I've been working through this my whole life. You know, I've been using people for body, from my body, and I have been weaning myself off of having things my way and using my body to get my way. And there's things like in a commitment, you're gonna bump up against the things that you've always done. And like this, it was very slight, you know, and it was like, like I actually just wanted, and I didn't say nothing. I'm like, I was not direct with you. I was direct with my energy, but I was not direct with my words. So I didn't match them like with my words. So like I did it without speaking to him. And I don't want to be that type of person, you know, like where he's playing this guessing game about what the fuck's going on with me. And then that just to stay inside of him. And so I'm like, I'm going to go say something and call my ass out on what happened right there before we fell asleep, you know, and because I was tired. And it doesn't make any excuse about not being direct, but that's what I was in. I was like, hey, this was what was going on with me. And I just want to let you in on what was actually happening. And I broke the agreement of that I failed on, like, when you say yes, but he also wasn't saying anything to me.
I also wasn't direct.
He wasn't saying anything. He just kissed me, you know? And so I didn't know that he wanted to go all the way, you know? I didn't know any of that, but I had stopped that before there was even a conversation with my energy. So
I'm seeing too, like the lesson for me too is to exactly the lesson that you got is to be more direct. Because you did say that you felt my energy, so.
I did feel
and
it.
that's not an excuse either. Like I'm just seeing how the gift of how beautiful it is when we communicate like congruently and with like our whole way, like our way of being, and when it matches our words, like how powerful that is. So thank you. I really appreciate this gift right now.
Same here. Same here.
Joseph, do you have something that you want to share?
Yeah, I had a question.
Okay.
So, which of you came to the realization first that you guys were meant to be in a divine union with the other, or did it happen at the same time?
So for me, Sarah came to the Remember in what was it, May, I think.
The first Remember experience.
Yeah. Was it the first one?
Yep.
Wow.
I came here
Holy
May
shit.
24th of 2023.
Wow, that's amazing. So she arrived here, and like prior to that, and I'm gonna get to your question, Joseph. I just want to like create a little bit of a backstory.
Right. I was also gonna ask. I was also gonna ask how you came to that realization. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is the how. Like when I first showed up here, I didn't want to be in a relationship. Like I saw what was going on in the world, and I had no desire. And when I started observing the fruits that John and Mel had, and Kirk and Donna, I'm like the power that came with that. I'm like, wow, this is like to actually serve to my highest capacity. Like I'm gonna start calling this in, and I feel like I called Sarah in prior to her showing up. Like at that time, there was only like 13 of us, and now we're close to, I think, 30. So I remember there was a moment where I flipped that perspective. I'm like, I'm actually gonna start calling this in, and so she showed up, the first Remember experience, and she was sitting by the fire, and she was talking about how she had kids at home, and she had her family, and I was sitting like 10 feet away from her, and she goes, I don't remember the question they asked her, if it was even a question, but I said the words, "It's a choice," and then she stayed here. Like from that moment, she decided. I don't know if that was like all of her decision, but the moment that I recognized that I had feelings for her was, I think it was in June or July. And we were out in the garden, and I had already, in my mind, I had already pictured that this woman would love to be in the garden and, you know, being around plants and just assisting in whatever we do in the garden, etc. So she showed up, and we were doing things behind River House by the greenhouse, and we started planting bags or something. She was emptying them or planting seeds. I don't remember. But yeah, we were planting seeds in the little bags, and I walked up to her and I'm like, hey, I said, I got feelings for you, and so that was the moment. That was the moment it all started. And prior to that, like, she was here for 4 months, and when she first showed up, like, I had seen her on the visionary calls. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, because she would like wear these wigs all the time, and they would always be different. I'm like, who's this fake ass bitch? And like, that's the judgment that I had, you know? And so when she showed up, I felt like zero attraction to her. Like, I loved her energy. And there was something about it, like I'm not gonna say that it wasn't zero attraction. Like, my animal desires were there, yes.
I believe that he told, because we used to have conversations a while ago about like the interactions of us prior, and he literally had told me that he was like, man, I looked at you and I was like, I just wanted to fuck you, you know, like in the beginning, you know, and so we were very transparent. We were very transparent. And may I?
Yeah. Okay,
so I have a different recollection of all these different things, but it's similar, very similar. So I felt like with the conversation about like when I was here during the Remember experience, like I had felt like God had told me those are not my children, those are his children, and that I needed to get out of the way because I was playing God. And I just was freaking the fuck out after hearing that. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I was emotional because I was feeling the call to stay here. Like I couldn't keep going back to the life that I once knew, you know, and there was a lot of things that were happening in the old world that I'm like, I just couldn't take anymore. You know, I was married for about 7 years, together with him for almost 17 years. I had a 16-year-old beautiful daughter named Kiara and a 13-year-old son named Cade. And it was the most difficult decision of my life to leave everything. I literally came here with a backpack, and I went by the fire, and I'm like freaking out about this because I was choosing God. Like I was choosing to listen to God. I was choosing to listen to that inner space. And when I was sitting there, I wasn't talking to, I had nothing with Dennis at that point. It was just somebody to be a sounding board for God, you know, and I had nothing. Like there wasn't any attraction at the beginning at all. I actually was completely like, stay the fuck away from me. I was big. I had ate a lot of food, and I let myself go because I really wanted to protect myself away from men. Like I was completely done, you know, like I didn't want anything. So I had let myself completely go. And so I went, when he said it was just a choice, that it literally stayed with me my entire like time that I've been here, because I was making a choice to walk with Christ, and he wasn't trying to lead me to him. He didn't want any of that. It was like he really was seeing the power of my choice, and like it laid here for me to make the decision myself. And I chose Christ. I didn't choose Dennis. God chose Dennis for me. And I resisted the fuck out of that for months. I think I made this guy wait like 9 months. He came to the breakfast table. He has a list of all the qualities that he prayed for in a woman, said that I had all these qualities. And I was like, fuck you, no. Like, I'm not gonna be in a relationship with you. Like, no, I'm not here for that. I don't want that. Like, let me stay on my thing. And then we just kept getting magnetized towards each other because I am his helpmeet. I am his helpmeet. And it was just a lot of resistance of like what I thought it was supposed to look like, what I thought I was supposed to look like, and all that stuff had to go away. And literally it's been effortless. Like everything has been like where he's just been there the entire time for me, you know, and allowing me to make my own decisions, not ones for himself. He literally let even that go, you know, like he was like, okay, fine. Like, but the next person that holds my hand, I want that for myself. And then I decided yes. And it's been the best decision I've ever made because we're not looking at each other. We're looking in the same direction. I'm looking at Christ. He's looking at Christ. And now we're all looking together holding hands, you know. And I didn't just marry Dennis. I married the family, you know, and it's been a beautiful journey to witness what this powerful commitment can do. Because when two or more are gathered, you can accomplish so many things. And like, that's a design that God has made for us. And I had to break so many resistances, like of what I thought a man was supposed to look like for me standing next to me, because I had all of those superficial, you know, surface level bullshit fucking things going on. And I had to break myself of that. I had to break myself of, you know, my manipulations, and like, I, you know, like don't like, and be completely transparent. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. Like, I'm going to fully let you see me. And he just loved on me even more. Like there was no resistance there. So it was really beautiful. Yeah. But it took about 9 months for me to recognize that God had placed this man in my life for me, and that it wasn't.
And
Yeah.
during those 9 months, like, what was that like for you? Like, that whole process, that whole journey.
It's a lot. That whole process has been, it's been God first. Like, I really feel that. Like, God has always been the focus. And then this mission has been the second focus. And then it's been our relationship. Because it's, I was doing everything ass backwards the last time, you know, and it's granted me so much freedom making the decision, because I just kept feeling like I was bouncing around for those 9 months. And, you know, like, oh, look at Marquise is like, hey, I'm going to join this conversation.
Welcome. I was hoping. I created this.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah.
Nice, David. Thank you. Yeah, so the 9 months was me bouncing around. It was the feelings of how someone feels when they're double-minded, like what the world has told me that I'm supposed to be this way, and what I think that it's supposed to look like, and all these fucking rules and things. And then once I decided, it was like, boom, single-minded, freedom. And so it was like, because I'm like, I just got out of a 17 fucking year marriage. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be jumping into a fucking another one, you know? And well, it's not the way that I thought it was going to look, you know? I thought he was going to be this tall, dark, handsome kind of guy, you know? And I don't know, like, what? So it broke everything about what I thought it was supposed to be. And it revealed something 10 times greater than I could have ever imagined. Because this man's spirit is genuine, kind, gentle. He has the most beautiful soul. And I see his soul. I don't see the meat suit anymore. So it's been a journey.
And this is just the beginning.
Yeah. It's very true. But I call my shit out. We are very transparent. We are very vulnerable, and we just share it with everybody. Hey, here's the flashing lights. Here's all the stuff that this thing is trying to do, by the way. So.
Yeah, and I really feel like part of the reason that I called you in, and actually I know, is because of the freedom of my soul. Like, there's things that have been revealed, like that we've shared at the table. Like, she had this dream one night of me fucking animals, you know? And we woke up the next morning and she's like, hey, have you ever had sex with animals? I'm like, no. And she asked me, are you lying? And I said, well, there was this time where, you know, I grew up on a farm, so, yeah, I've done some crazy shit. And so it's really been this unveiling of, like,
It's a lot.
Giving it all to Christ, like just giving it all to God. So.
There was a divine presence that came over me that morning.
Yeah.
And like I was completely unconditional, you know, like it was like he was just allowed to let that go. And it was like his shame was being turned into glory, and only God can do that, you know? Like I really felt like I was just being present to being a witness of it. Like I'm just a witness of what God's work is doing, you know? And I'm like, that's when I really knew, like, because I'm like, this love is, I don't care what you've done in your past. You're not your past. You are who you are now in Christ, you know? Like Jesus, he was around tax collectors and zealots and murderers and sinners. Why? Because they needed it the most. But he also said that you are that no more when you are with me. That's not even who you are. So why is it that I couldn't do it? You know what I mean? And so like when you're dedicated and when you are saved by grace, yes, we're all sinners, and we got to remember that. I am no different, no better, no worse, no nothing. I'm right beside you in this. And so every time that I feel like I'm getting righteous, or any time that I feel like I'm getting lowly, like I really need to just neutralize myself real quick, because we're all in this together. You know, there's nobody that's better or worse. So I really feel like Christ came in and was coming for him. And he literally looked at me and you know, like just, there's so many people out there that are carrying so much stuff, and you don't have to do this alone anymore. We're not meant to do this alone and carrying that stuff alone anymore. You know, and I'm like the most vulnerable and tender parts of this man's heart. He's sharing about the things that he's been keeping in a cage for so long. I am not going to taint that. You know, like that's a big deal. And he literally looks at me and he's like, do you still love me? Because I wouldn't. And I said, of course I love you more. Because you just set yourself free. That's really big. And I pray that for everyone. There's nothing too big that you can't bring to God. So.
Yeah, and I just want to share, like, if you're watching this on YouTube or any other platform, like after this has been recorded, This is what we're doing here at Earthwaking. Like, this is the work, and this is what it looks like. It's what does it take to enter the kingdom? Everything. But that's only everything to the ego, because to the ego it's everything, but to God it's nothing. So God wipes the slate clean, and this is an invitation. There's going to be links in the description. Make sure you check out all the links. If you've been carrying around shame or guilt or judging yourself for your past, like, it can be, God can wipe that clean in an instant. And so this is your invitation to come home, to Christ. And I'm going to put my Calendly link in the description for anybody that's watching on YouTube, and feel free to reach out. So, did you have something, Sarah?
I do. Don't take 20 years to have something that could have been solved in 20 minutes. With that conversation that just happened, he was a little boy who made a decision, not knowing. He was a little kid. How old were you? Under 10?
Like 10?
Yeah.
8 or 10, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere in there.
Under 10 years old, and kept himself in a cage for one decision that he made for 20 years. That's a long, 25 years. That's a life sentence.
And
you're casting sentences on yourself, and you don't even know that you're doing it, and you're making decisions the rest of your life based on, I'm not worthy and I'm a piece of shit, and I'm not able to do that anymore. And then thinking that you're not worthy of love anymore. And it all just took a 20-minute conversation to let all of it go. So I pray people just decide to have a conversation with God and to let it go and sin no more. He never made those actions ever again, but he did it one time, and he cast himself a 25-year life sentence. And all decisions that he's made in his life up until that moment were decisions from, I don't deserve love. Wow. Let's just cut that out. And God's been turning it and using it for glory and setting so many people free. Like, he will use everything and turn it for good. Everything. For those who believe. Now, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, read the Bible, go to church on Sunday, and do everything that it says, but if you don't do it, I'm going to judge the shit out of you, and I'm going to cast you in the fiery furnace. And not actually apply what it actually means to be living in the Bible. Now, I was given an opportunity to actually apply it. It says that God's vengeance is God's. All you need to do is love God with all of your heart, your mind, and your soul. And then love your neighbor as thyself. He is me, and I am him. So, yeah. You got something else, Joseph?
Yeah, I'd say that was a pretty thorough answer. Yeah, I can feel myself being drawn to the village and to you guys there, and I don't know, I can feel that everyone in my life is going to be drawn with me, but I know it's going to happen in God's time. So I don't know. Like right now, I have a girlfriend, and I would love to take her with me, but she's not communicating with me like at all. So I don't really you know, I don't really have much of a way of sharing all this stuff that's going on inside myself and on my own journey.
What was the last sentence that you said? You don't really have time.
Since we're not like since we're like not really communicating directly,
Uh huh.
I don't really have much of a way of sharing all the stuff that's going on with like my journey with her, unless she, reaches out to me and like, watches my videos or something like that. But we've been together almost 5 years and we've never met and we've never talked on the phone, which is really highly unusual. So I feel like we've been saving ourselves and each other for each other all this time, but maybe it's not each other that we've been saving ourselves for, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open to it being her. I'm open to it being, a number of, a couple of other people I've met, and I'm open to it being somebody I've never met. I'm surrendered, and I would love to experience a divine union. That's why I'm committed to, celibacy until I'm with that woman.
Amen.
That's really beautiful. Like just that surrender that you just spoke to. Like that's at least like on my journey. Like that's what it took is just like surrendering everything. Like even
Yeah,
the desire to be with Sarah because there was a time where I was like when she was here like I really felt like God was saying that it's that it was her and so there was like
And I
this
kept saying no.
yeah and so like I had to put her on the altar too. I'm like God if it's not her then I give her to you. Like I'm open and I'm completely surrendered to your will. And so what you just shared there is really beautiful. And he's gonna, yeah, he'll.
Wait, so you said that you've been with her for 5 years, but you haven't ever spoken with her on the phone?
yeah.
How do you communicate with her?
Mostly Facebook Messenger. For the first few years, we talked on Kick a lot, but now it's like Facebook.
And you've never seen like a video or?
Oh, I know what she looks like. She's on Facebook, so I know what she looks like. I know she's not catfishing me.
Are you sure?
Have
Yeah,
you sent her any money, Joseph?
yeah, I've done that a few times. It's a really weird like it's a weird code.
I'm gonna say that there's like infinite red flags going off up in this. It's like beedoo, reedoo, reedoo. And I
Well,
love you, but
it's
that's a lot of red flags.
it's a weird codependent relationship. So the first girl that I met and that I dated, and the only girl that I've ever slept with, like she, had like some mental issues, and I dated her for several years. And when I would talk to her on the phone, we could talk forever. But she was staying with my roommate, who was like her caretaker, because she had like epilepsy and stuff like that going on. And so, like, we were kind of like the bridges to each other. And in a similar way, like my girlfriend knew my roommate before we met each other. So it's like a series of like bridges connecting these people to each other.
Hmm.
And then there's like more bridges, connecting more people to each other. It's like a web.
It sounds very interesting.
Burn those bridges, Joseph.
He's speaking from wisdom. I can hear it. He's like, burn those bridges. Oh
I'm
man.
joking, man. I'm joking. But I really wanted to come and, man, just give y'all some acknowledgement. I wanted to acknowledge y'all's commitment to God first and the living word. You know what I mean? Just naming this the living word spoke to me in a way that, and I was supposed to be here maybe 3 weeks ago. But you know how we have so many classes around here and so much going on Thursdays. It's like, man, it's kind of hard to kind of put everything together. But I definitely wanted to speak to just commitment, period, and just how hard it is to date nowadays. You know what I mean? It's like, man, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Like he's been dating somebody 5 years. Like I dated somebody 12 years, and they were like 12 red flags. Like I didn't pay any attention to the first 3 red flags. Like, hey man, 3 red flags, you like, you know what I'm saying? But it took 12 years. After that 12-year relationship, I was with a girl 12 weeks, and there were 12 red flags in 12 weeks. It was like, hold on, man, what kind of women am I attracting? Like,
Huh? Yeah.
I think it was me. It was me. I couldn't blame those women at all. You know what I mean? It's like with the girl that was 12 red flags in 12 years, it was like, man, she helped me raise my babies. She helped me raise my children. So in a way, I kind of ignored the red flags until it was time to look at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, like, did that just happen? You know what I mean? Like you let it pass, you let it slide, but the next day it's like she's doing something that you love, like trying to, I guess, cover up for whatever that was that happened yesterday. Oh man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're going out, or we end up probably at a strip club together, something like that. You know what I mean? Ended up in a threesome one time, like ended up at a swingers club one time. Like it's not something that I enjoy, but it's like, you know, it was something different, and I don't know what that was, but those were demons that I did not want to be involved in. Like after a while, it was like, run, Forrest, run. Had to get away from certain things and certain people just to save myself. Like,
Sure.
like there are some people out there who don't want to be saved, and she was one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like more gangster than than some of the dudes that I hung with. You know what I'm saying? But that was, I don't know, that was just the females that I was attracting. Like even my children's mother, like when I met her, she was on probation, you know what I'm saying? Fighting dudes, robbing people, like all in. You know, some of that stuff you don't find out until she already pregnant. It's like, hold on, what? That what? You know what I'm saying? You don't find out most of the bad stuff until, you know what I'm saying, you done moved in with them. It's like too late, but it's always something speaking to my soul. And when I got here, I was like, man, you know what? I ain't worried about women. I'm gonna be celibate. Like, I don't, you know, shit, I'm gonna stop smoking, stop drinking. Like, I needed to check everything about myself. You know what I mean? Like, I had to stop doing a lot of stuff. Stop trying to be cool to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is cool? At the end of the day, what is cool?
Being real.
The truth.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's like, man, everybody out there thinks that they are real, thinks that they are cool, thinks that they are the truth. And it's really just their truth, not the truth. The living word is the truth. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I've been the living word.
Yeah.
And then they spoke about being present to the present of the present. Really, I just break it down to being here for the gift of now. Like here and now, we are in the middle of nowhere, now and here. And you gotta, you know, not really be anxious about tomorrow or what's coming in the future. And we are not obligated to be who we were when we were 8, 9, 10 years old. That's why it's so easy for her to forgive, and it's easy for him to forgive himself, because I had to forgive myself for a lot of stuff that I've done, and it's a lot of stuff that I forgot, and it's still hiding somewhere back there. And we're going to get to the bottom of it, right? Right? We're going to find it.
It'll all
Yeah.
reveal
We're
itself in
going
due
to find
time.
it. We're going to heal it. And now is the time for forgiveness. Like, man, I was just thinking the other day how the visionary leadership program how all of those distinction words like are with me like every day, every moment of my life. I'm thinking, okay, where's ego at in this? Okay, forgiveness. Okay, where do I need some self-care today? Like everything that we have been being taught is showing up every day. That's how I understand exactly why he says things about being world-class leaders and coming to the earthwaking village is like where I knew that my soul needed to be. Like the living word was guiding me here.
Yep.
Like man, definitely. I'm gonna leave it right there. I don't know if you got some questions or something. Y'all have some questions?
I got something.
All right.
What
Like-
was really beautiful inside of your share was the part where you're like, why am I attracting these women? You know, and it wasn't about them anymore or what they were doing or not doing. It was like, what in me is attracting this? And I'm going to just out myself, okay? Because this is just, you don't know until you know. And when you know, you have a decision. And that's literally the process of awakening, is you're asleep and you didn't know. And now you know you're brought with the decision time. And it's like, oh, I can either continue doing this and keep getting these results, or I can change the decision and get different results. It doesn't mean that the next result might not be something that you might like or not like, because you're still in a learning process. But still, it's just about the results that you're having inside of your life. Do I want this fruit? Do I want to have this type of relationship? Do I want to have this type of connection? And even inside of our relationship, we've been noticing, like, our algorithm was off. There was something that was happening, and we brought it to the table. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, like, what's going on in here? And so I brought to him, I don't remember how the conversation started, but it was about even looking in a different direction, right? Like finding men attractive, you know, and I'm in a divine union, you know, but I'm still having these fleshly things come online, and I'm like, there's a lot of handsome men that are around, and you know, I've been weaning myself off of this body's desires and what it's doing. And I'm like, I even told him, like, there's some times where my Facebook feed pops up fucking women's butts and all these different things. And, you know, I'm like, I don't understand that. And I'm like, do I just have to go in there and delete everything? Like, what am I supposed to do? And I brought it to my family because it started to affect me. And I brought it to Dennis before we brought it to the family. And he came out and started talking about how he's been having the same thing going on, you know, and instead of making each other wrong or like shaming each other or putting guilt on one another, like, fuck you and why are you doing that to me and blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with that. It's like, oh, wow, we're both in the same boat. Like, we can be open and transparent with each other, and have a commitment to find out how to remove this out of our life, because our commitment is stronger. And that's the journey. That's the beauty about being inside of a Christ-like relationship, Christ-like, Christ-centered relationship, because you're now not looking at each other like, you did it. No, we're both taking responsibility. We're both doing it on some level. Might even be fantasizing in your mind. You know, I had addictions to pornography back in the States, and I had to wean myself off of that shit. And masturbation, wean myself off of that, because you know, all these different things, you know. So we're weaning ourselves off of the flesh. And he even had like this woman pop up on his feed, you know, and it was someone from the old world that he was attracted to, and had felt rejection from this woman, and he had judgment on her, like, well, fuck her. And I'm like, no, there's something underneath there, you know. And I'm like, and then he started revealing all these things. He was like, I actually felt really rejected by this person, and I thought she was beautiful. And there's always something underneath the anger and the judgment. There's always something. And so it's like having a space where you're not making somebody wrong. I'm not saying that the behavior doesn't need to be changed. I'm not saying that behaviors don't need to be looked at. Yes, but looking at it from a compassionate place and with responsibility to respond ably to it, not react to it or point fingers or nothing like that. It's literally an openness to see what needs to be revealed and healed. And then healed people heal people. That's really the beauty in it. So do look at the things that you are attracting and take responsibility for it. Everything in your life, everything that shows up in Dennis, I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I doing? Where is it in me? Because we're one. When it happens with the family, the shit goes in the bucket. When it comes out, it's all of ours. Because it's somewhere in there. We're all doing this together. All of it is ours. And so any place where I find myself being arrogant, like I'm right, you're wrong, all that kind of shit, like neutralize it. If I'm getting low and making myself small and insignificant, nope, neutralize it. Because we're all one and the same. We're all fucking sinners. We've all done stupid ass shit. Now, let's clean it up. Come clean it up. And so that's really a powerful statement right there, because it was like you were addressing the responsibility of your life in that one statement that you had made. So I just really wanted to shout out right there about that.
And I would have to give partial credit to the Earthwaking Village, just, my mentors, Jonathan and Kirk. Because I was always pointing the finger at, I would point the finger at my mom, point the finger at my dad for his relationships and his treatment of my mom for, I guess just getting a divorce and never, I don't know, I was a kid who didn't accept or respect stepdads anyway, so it was like there was something there about that. But I was always blaming the women in my life for whatever was going on. If it was a porn addiction, masturbation or whatever, I was always blaming other people. And then, a few years back, I just took a look at it and was like, hey, man, you put yourself in this situation.
You chose it, yeah.
Yes, I chose it. And I was supposed to go through that. You know what I mean? I was supposed to see that. I'm supposed to go through this one last time, like this is the last time. This is it. This is it. This is it. I refuse to come back and do this again. This is it, Joseph. Man, I want to acknowledge you, Joseph, for coming to every Masterclass. Man, I'll see you there, buddy.
Matthew 5. Okay. I think we just read it last week, did we not? And we can read it again. Maybe we read somewhere else.
Where are we?
She said you just flipped to Matthew 5.
I
so.
just flipped to Matthew 5. Like it literally opened up. And it has boxes in here, and I wanna we did touch on this last week with Matthew 5. We did read some of this, but it's really like, I just want to pray that people listen to the depth of these words, because when you realize that you have a need for him, you've exhausted your strength. When you hit rock bottom, you're like, I cannot do this anymore. I need something else to come in. That's where his strength comes in, and you get this supernatural ability to be able to hold whatever the fuck is coming your way. And I'm going to tell you, like, I asked for it, and it literally came the other day. We're sitting in Dysfunction Junction, and I I literally have this energy because I needed to protect myself for a long time, you know, and I'd get really, really big. And it's like the Hulk energy, you know, thinking that I needed to defend myself. And I've been wanting to set that down and really like set down my thunder and not needing to defend anything and be there for someone that literally was me, you know. And I got that literally just this past Monday. You know, I got the opportunity to really just sit down, you know, and have someone flailing and screaming and hollering in my face. And literally, I had the opportunity to just rip my heart open and receive what this person needed to be seen about and not make anything about me. And it was one of the biggest gifts that I could possibly ever have, because I didn't have the energy inside of me of like, I needed to change this. I need to defend myself. I need to stop this person. There was none of it. And I'm like, you know, screaming, waving microphones in my face kind of energy. And I'm like, that wasn't me. Sarah did not do it. There was an energy that was present because I needed God to be there for someone else when they need it. That's different. I can't do that shit because Sarah's been trained not to do that shit. It's like go time, fight, get, you know, like, so I know that is supernatural. That's God coming through for someone else because I'm laying down my shield. I'm laying down my sword and I'm just here. Here I am. Only God can do that.
Man, that's beautiful. Like the only time my Hulk would appear, I would say it's more like Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like my Mr. Hyde or Hulk would come out in my music. Like I would be a whole nother animal in the music or on the stage or performing a song. I wasn't the nice guy who was, you know, who spared your feelings. Like the nice guy, I'm empathetic, I'm sympathetic, and at the end of the day, it was just pathetic. Joseph, like
hey,
real
that's
talk.
really good. Yeah,
Like real talk, Joseph. Like I was just the nice guy, like too nice. Like that's why I was attracting these crazy women. Because I was the nice guy who was empathetic, sympathetic. At the end of the day, it was pathetic, Joseph.
Yep.
But yes, we're on Matthew 5. Did you say 1? Mm-hmm. 5 and 1?
Yes.
And actually, can we go a little bit further back? I want to go to 4:18. Oh wait, yeah, let's just go to 4. Let's go to 4. You want to read it?
Sure. So Matthew 4. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights afterward, he was hungry. Now when the tempter came to him, he said, "If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread." But he answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." Then the devil took him up into the holy city, set him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge over you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Jesus said to him, It is written, You shall not tempt the Lord your God. Again the devil took him up on an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, All these things I will give you if you will fall down and worship me. Then Jesus said to him, Away with you, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only you shall serve. Then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and ministered to him. Now when Jesus heard that John had been put in prison, he departed to Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is by the sea, in the regions of Zebulun and Naphtali, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, The land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles, the people who sat in the darkness have seen a great light. And upon those who sat in the region and shadow of death, light was dawned. From that time Jesus began to preach and to say, Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. Then he said to them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. They immediately left their nets and followed him. Going on from there, he saw two other brothers, James the son of Zebedee and John his brother, in the boat with Zebedee their father, mending their nets. He called them, and immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. That's interesting that he says, and John his brother in the boat with Zebedee their father, mending their nets. And he called them, and immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. If I would take that for face value, it sounds like they were two walked on water. If I would take it literally, you know. You want to?
I think this is how the show, The Chosen, started. And those boats were just, at the shore.
Ah, okay.
It says here, there's a little box, and it's on Matthew 4:19 through 20. The simplicity of Jesus' words bellies their power. The call and promise of Jesus is striking but remains powerless without a decision on our part. If Peter and Andrew had merely listened and said, That's a very interesting invitation, maybe we can talk about it again after fishing season, they would not have become Jesus' disciples. Do you see that? I want you to feel it. Jesus demands a decision to follow him or to remain where we are. A real decision will lead to action. The disciples left their nets and followed Jesus. Boom. Without a decision and action, commitment is just an interesting idea. So when you have a commitment to something, make a decision and have your decision backed with an action. He literally gives you the recipe right there. And you'll see it, because faith without works is dead. He literally made the decision right then and there, dropped the nets, and then followed Jesus and became his disciples. If they didn't have that commitment, if they didn't decide in that moment, they would just remain where they are. They'd be stuck in their own illusions forever.
Yeah, there's something very powerful that happens when we commit, and I actually like like a commitment. If we make and this is going one step further, but if we make a covenant to God, that is, I don't remember where I was going with this. Yeah, decision. Deciding means to cut off from all other options. So when we decide and we commit, that's power.
I'm just bringing back to the thing about like deciding to be with Dennis, you know, like I said, there was things that bounce off of that, you know, and it's like, well, there was still that lustful thing that was happening between both of us. And it's like, hey, this is an awareness. Like, it's showing up on our feed and Facebook, and like, what do we do with that? Well, it's there because there's still something to be cleaned up inside. And so now we have decided that it's not about anything that needs to be changed out here. It's a decision on who I decided to be. Like, I'm not a woman who lusts after anybody. Like, I'm a one-man woman, period. And literally with that decision, I'm not kidding you, my fucking Facebook does not show that anymore. It literally just happened over fucking night. Like, it just, no more butts in my face. Like, thank you, God. Thank you so much. Like, there's no more butts in my face. And the thing was that it's not even about the butt being in the face. It was like what I would say about myself about the butt being in my face. And that's really where the thing is at. So I'm just saying that the decision starts with who you decide to be in that moment after that. Like, once you are faced with the awareness of now, like, okay, now I have a new decision. Are you going to say that you're a piece of shit and sabotage yourself because you don't want to be this person or accept that you've been this person? Or are you going to just set all that down and make a new decision to be someone who you always wanted to be and knew that was always in there? It's really, like, that is power.
And that brings me back to the living word. Like the word is living every day through those decisions that we make. Like, I had to decide pretty much the same thing. Like, I had to give up, even if it was me taking a break from Instagram, taking a break from Twitter, X, like taking a break from Facebook, to get those images out of my head and get the lustful thinking out of my head at the same time. And I had to decide I had to take everything to God, every decision made. I had to, what do you call it, a conscious pause?
The
Okay.
conscious pause
a
button.
conscious pause, and I would, okay, which one of these voices am I going to listen to? Am I going to listen to me? Or am I going to listen to the Holy Spirit? And I wouldn't know if it was the right decision until that decision was made sometimes. And I started learning how to use my discernment better, because like shit, I didn't know if it was judgment or if it was discernment at times. But I know that I made the right decision because the rewards would be immediate. Like the good would be coming like right then. And even the bad, like if I make the wrong decision or listen to the wrong voice, like the consequences were almost immediate. Like, dang, I wasn't supposed to do that. I don't care if it was a stumped toe. Oh man, I was supposed to be thinking about something. I was supposed to do something else. Let me make a better decision this time. Man, thank you.
Welcome. I heard something in your communication. Are you open to receive? Yes. You were speaking about consequences as it being bad. And consequences are literally just what happens in a sequence after you do something. It's like cause and effect. You're getting a consequence. And so a consequence is neither bad nor good. It's just what happens right after you've done something. And so I pray that you have freedom over like, oh, I fucked up, or I did something bad, or I'm not supposed to do this, or no, why did it happened? And it's all to lead you into your awareness and to give you access to your power. And you can make a new decision every single moment. And so like, I just wanted to like give you your power, give power back to your
Breakthrough. Anybody else
your
breakthrough?
voice.
Breakthrough.
The living word.
The living
Yeah.
word, man, I needed that because I have been giving demons and the devil so much credit that they don't deserve. You know what I mean? Like I,
We use our words and
like, hold on, man,
Yeah.
the devil is trying to test me right now, tempt me. Like, no, that's God trying to see if you learned your lesson.
Well, it says even right here, just what we just read. The scriptures also say, do not test the Lord your God. Because the devil was trying to tempt Jesus. And you got Jesus in you. You can't tempt me. So Jesus literally says, let the people say that they are healed. Let the sick say that they're healed. Let the people say this when they're with me. Boom, it's literally done. Like I literally asked for something, right? And you guys all witnessed it. And it was literally a fucking miracle inside of the dysfunction junction. I asked for it and was talking about it, and it literally happened instantly. Like that was a gift for me. All things work for good for those who believe. People don't think that people think that it's like, oh, it's supposed to come wrapped up in this beautiful box and it's supposed to have a beautiful bow and have all the right letters and all the right sayings inside of the card, and it's just going to make my heart go boom, and when I unwrap it, I'm going to have all the treasure out of the treasure chest. No, it comes screaming and yelling and fighting and biting you. And then you receive the gift. I'm telling you, like, just saying.
Yes, and I also want to speak to what you just said to you, because you've made a commitment. You made a commitment to be free. And when you spoke those, like, I just want to bring home the power of commitment again. Because like you've declared that you're committed to outing your ego. And so what I just witnessed at the dysfunction junction was like an instant manifestation of that commitment manifesting. So very powerful. Yes.
Not just for
yes.
me, but also to serve people for freedom. Because I was afraid. I'm like, am I going to be the same person that I've always been and defend myself? Because I'm like, this is what I've always done. I literally would have to put someone down, and I'm like, I don't want to ever use my hands anymore, Lord. I'm like, I don't want to fight. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to do it anymore. I've gotten into too many fights. I've had to protect myself too many fucking times. I'm done. I don't even care if this person hits me. I'm not going to raise my fist.
Yes. Yes.
You have not, like, I've been in so many fights, and it literally set me free because I'm like, I don't even care if this person hits me. I'll give him my left cheek. And it didn't come to that. It didn't. So.
That's preparing for peace right there.
Yeah.
Preparing
Yes.
for peace.
No more. My sword is down. I lay it down. That was the greatest gift. It really was.
I feel Marquise is wanting.
Your says it a little different than mine. I like how yours is saying it.
We do have another version over there, so, and I think that one might be the same, but where was I?
23, 24, 25.
Okay, thank you. And Jesus went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all kinds of sicknesses and all kinds of disease among the people. Then he went throughout all Syria, and they brought to him all sick people who were afflicted with various diseases and torments, and those who were demon-possessed, epileptics, and paralytics, and he healed them. Great multitudes followed him from Galilee and from Decapolis, Jerusalem, Judea, and beyond the Jordan.
So, chapter 4, he met his disciples, like 4 of them at least.
Yes.
And then he went throughout the cities, healing the people. And then everybody started following him. And they followed him to the mount, right?
Okay.
Sermon on the Mount. Is that Mount Olive? The Sermon on the Mount?
No, you read. You want to read?
No, you got it. Live the word.
All right. I'll read. The Sermon on the Mount. One day, as the crowds were gathering, Jesus went up the mountainside with his disciples and sat down to teach them. The Beatitudes. This is what he taught them. God blesses those who realize their need for him, for the kingdom of heaven is given to them. God blesses those who mourn, for they will be comforted. God blesses those who are gentle and lowly, for the whole earth will belong to them. God blesses those who are hungry and thirsty for justice, for they will receive it in full. God blesses those who are merciful, for they will be shown mercy. God blesses those whose hearts are pure, for they will see God. And God blesses those who work for peace, for they will be called the children of God. And God blesses those who are persecuted because they live for God, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. God blesses you when you are mocked and persecuted and lied about because you are my followers. Be happy about it. Be very glad, for a great reward awaits you in heaven. And remember, the ancient prophets were persecuted too. You are the salt of the earth. But what good is salt if it has lost its flavor? Can you make it useful again? It will be thrown out and trampled underfoot as worthless. You are the light of the world, like a city on a mountain, glowing in the night for all to see. Don't hide your light under a basket. Instead, put it on a stand and let it shine for all. In the same way, let your good deeds shine out for all to see, so that everyone will praise your heavenly Father. Now, isn't that a beautiful representation of a lighthouse?
I literally just, I was going to say it and you did it, so thank you.
May I?
Yes. It is one of the distinctions this week, yes.
So I got really, I started getting creative because I've been in the Visionary Leadership Program for about 4 years now. And one of the rounds, I started making distinction poems. And so I wrote a poem called Lighthouse. Would you like to hear it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, Lighthouse. Into the dark, let go, don't fear. There is a fire that will never go out, and it burns 360 degrees all year. Her stillness as firm as the oak, his light as bright as the sun. Her harbor offers safe passage and warmth before the dawn. Unmoving against the waves through the toughest of storms, you are there always in the depths and shallows to inform where is home. O Father, lead us into your kingdom, your sanctuary of love. Open our hearts to your only begotten Son. As we travel on seas full of regret and pride, remind us that we are not alone within your light.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I wrote that February 19th of last year.
Wow.
And guess what? I showed up in May of 2023, by the way. So these poems literally led me home. Like, I have so many of them, and I'm commitment, it just keeps popping up. I'm committed to writing a book because I've got it already. It's already there. It's already been done. It's already written. And so I just need to put it in a book form and send out my poems. So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Yeah. So, teaching about the law. Don't misunderstand why I have come. I did not come to abolish the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets. No, I came to fulfill them. I assure you, until heaven and earth disappear, even the smallest detail of God's law will remain until its purpose is achieved. So if you break the smallest commandment and teach others to do the same, you will be the least in the kingdom of heaven. But anyone who obeys God's laws and teaches them will be great in the kingdom of heaven. But I warn you, unless you obey God better than the teachers of religious law and the Pharisees do, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven at all. You have heard that the law of Moses says, do not murder. If you commit murder, you are subject to judgment. But I say, if you are angry with someone, you are subject to judgment. If you say to your friend, you idiot, you are in danger of being brought before the court. And if you curse someone, you are in danger of the fires of hell. So if you are standing before the altar in the temple, offering a sacrifice to God, and you suddenly remember that someone has something against you, leave your sacrifice there beside the altar. Go and be reconciled to that person. Then come and offer your sacrifice to God. Come to terms quickly with your enemy before it is too late, and you are dragged into court, handed over to an officer, and thrown into jail. I assure you that you won't be free again until you have paid the last penny. Wow. I love how this word just kept popping up, commit. Like, if you commit murder, if you commit this, you know, you're still committing. So everything that you're doing in your decisions, you are making a commitment to something. So be aware of whatever decisions you are making and what you're committed to, because you already are doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, I really want to, this is, I think, what you just spoke to may be exactly how Neil said it the other night about even when we're not committed, we're actually committed. He just shared this at the visionary call. So even like when we're going through life and those years that I was not committed, I was actually committed. I was committed to not loving myself, to like continue separating myself from God, to continue the judgment that I had, the shame that I had on myself, like because I didn't know, I wasn't committed to God, I wasn't committed to the truth. So I just want to bring home the fact that if we're not committed, we're also committed to that.
Amen. So here's to the previous story about lust. You have heard that the law of Moses says, do not commit adultery. But I say, anyone who even looks at a woman with lust in his eye has already committed adultery with her in his heart. So if your eye even is your good eye, causes you to lust, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your hand, even if it is your stronger hand, causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. It's pretty strong stuff there. Teaching about divorce. You have heard that the law of Moses says a man can divorce his wife by merely giving her a letter of divorce. But I say that a man who divorces his wife, unless she has been unfaithful, causes her to commit adultery. And anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Teaching about vows. Again, you have heard that the law of Moses says, do not break your vows. You must carry out the vows that you have made to the Lord.
Wow.
But I say, don't make any vows. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like that right there. Mine says you shall perform your oaths to the Lord. So like I'm just hearing like what you just spoke to earlier, like commitment, like, and there's so much freedom within these commitments that we make to the Lord because it's not just our commitment. Like God's actually on our side now. Like he's in the stands. He's on the field rooting for us. So. There's freedom in knowing that we don't have to know how, but we know because we know who.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are at chapter 5, verse 34, my book says, right?
Yeah.
My book says, but I say unto you, swear not at all. So,
Like making promises, making
yes,
vows.
making those oaths and vows, don't swear. Like, yeah, that's it.
And if you say, by heaven, it is a sacred vow because heaven is God's throne. And if you say, by earth, it is sacred vow because the earth is his footstool. And don't swear by Jerusalem, for Jerusalem is the city of the great king. Don't even swear by my head, for you can't turn one hair white or black. Just say a simple yes, I will, or a no, I won't. Your word is enough. To strengthen your promise with a vow shows that something is wrong.
Can I share what 37? I want to read 37 from my Bible. This version says, but let your yes be yes and your no, no. For whatever is more than these is from the evil one.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I promised to be there on Thursday. But you have no idea what's going to happen to you on Thursday. But if you're swearing and you're like doing all those things and you're not going to be there, you're breaking your word. And God is the word. And the word is God. So simple, simple, simple. Love is simple. You have heard that the law of Moses says, if an eye is injured, injure the eye of the person who did it. Eye for an eye. And if a tooth gets knocked out, knock out the tooth of the person who did it. But I say, don't resist an evil person. Don't resist an evil person. If you are slapped on the right cheek, turn the other too. Oh, look, I see that. If you are ordered to court and your shirt is taken from you, give your coat too. If a soldier demands that you carry his gear for a mile, carry it 2 miles. Give to those who ask, and don't turn away from those who want to borrow. And you have heard the law of Moses that says, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. In that way, you will be acting as true children of your Father in heaven. For he gives his sunlight to both the evil and the good. And he sends rain on the just and the unjust too. If you love only those who love you, what good is that? Even corrupt tax collectors do that much. If you are kind only to your friends, how are you different from anyone else? Even pagans do that. But you are to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect, to make you holy. It says here another thing on 5:27 through 29. It's about lust. So it is quite natural for men and women to notice and be attracted to one another. This goes with our nature as sexual beings. Jesus was not condemning as sin our natural interest in the opposite sex, but he was warning that when we move from interest into active fantasizing about illicit sexual acts, we have crossed the line into sinful lust. If your interest goes beyond the first look and becomes lust, confess it as a sin and ask the Lord to help you avoid that second look. Justice, Matthew 5:43 through 45, it says, justice punishes evil, crime and wrongdoing, and mercy forgives them. One of the hardest things that we can do is forgive someone who has wronged us, but it's only through experiencing forgiveness that one can clearly see God's great gift of salvation. Your mercy may be just what someone needs to be ushered into God's kingdom. What is mercy to you?
Did you say Grace Marquise? Oh. I feel like for me, it's like a cleansing of the slate. Yeah, so like all the shame, all the guilt, all the judgment, like all of that, it's wiped clean through. And actually, Jesus is also not just grace, but he's God's physical representation of the mercy that he has for us, of our sins. So
I literally see someone on their knees begging for mercy. Like that's like a representation of what I see in like a physical, like visual, you know, because it's like a shout out that you need something greater than yourself. It's compassion. It's poured out onto you and onto needy people. It says in here that the mercy of God, he expects us to model it. And he goes one step further. God's mercy is undeserved favor. Like you did not deserve this favor. And so when you ask for it, it's like It's like you're opening up your heart to say, I fucked up. Like, I didn't deserve this. And I need you to come in. So even when we don't deserve mercy, God still extends it to us. Our sin and rebellion against God deserves his punishment, but instead, he offers us forgiveness and grace and eternal life. If God was merciful towards us despite our sin, how merciful should we be towards those who have wronged us? Like, we're trying to step in and play God. But the way that we try to play God is actually playing the devil, because we condemn them and say, go to hell. And we hold grudges and we want them to be just. We want to like, oh, okay, tooth for tooth, eye for eye, let's kill them off, you know, and fuck you, you're out of my life forever. And we actually blame God because we think it's God's duty to come in and not have those things happen to us. So we constantly don't take responsibility about the things that we're doing in our lives and hurting people and hurting ourselves. And so that's why God commands us to be merciful, because he is mercy. And he extends that favor. Like, we've got a wrong perception of what God is or isn't. In our mind, we've literally decided what he looks like, what he sounds like, and we've already decided what we want him to say, rather than actually going to him and listening for what he's actually saying or what he said. He's mercy, he's love, like eternal life. He wants to pour his favor and his blessings and give you an entire garden and everything that he's ever wanted for us. But we keep on coming in and playing the devil's advocate. So, yeah. Oh, that just, I felt something else come through me, yeah.
Thank you. You what? You felt what?
I like feel something coming through me, like,
Oh.
you know, so it's weird.
That's okay, because God chooses you the moment that you choose him. Like he's ready to wipe the slate clean right then. As long as you don't continue to keep going back to the same sins. He says, go forth and sin no more. And it's like I recognize that, like, I cannot think about sex at all, but the moment I go in my phone and go and scroll on one of the apps and see that, it's like I know that if I take it any further, that I'll have to start over on my mission. You know what I mean? It's like I can feel it all the way down on a soul level. Like, man, I know that if I make this phone call and go and party and Netflix and chill, you know what I'm saying? I know in the morning I'm going to regret it, and it's like me starting over. And that's just me starting over. When you know,
it's not just
time
you,
is
actually.
nothing to God. Time is nothing to God. Like,
It's not just you. If you actually went and did that, you're actually bringing someone else with you.
yes. So they have to start over on their mission as well. Like, we are, man.
It's a beautiful confession. Would you like to ask God to come through to?
I feel like he came through at 3:00 when I clicked on the live. It's like it was meant for me to hear everything I heard today. You know what I mean? It was meant for me to be here. It was meant for me to be studying the living word with y'all today. Incarnate word. It's like we incarnated. We are living the word, the incarnate word.
Yes.
We are living the word.
Literally.
I'm inspired. I'm now going to put this. I've been doing this, but I want to just declare it even further. of his commandment of being merciful, not even just towards other people, but for myself. You know, like it's got to start here and like pour out of me. So I am going to make a mind map of mercy. And I find that they really, really just kind of just give me a reflection, and I'm able to go back to it with the energy that's present inside of me. And it's like I can activate that world anytime that something happens in my life, and I can just flip in my book of mind maps, and I'm like, okay, this is, all right, now I'm in the presence of mercy, and I can now bathe in it, you know. And I do this with a bunch, not even just the distinctions inside of the visionary program. I'm taking it a step further of the fruits of the Spirit, and I'm creating a course on the fruits of the Spirit and how to access like certain ways of being that guide you through that, the journey that I've been through to access those things. And I felt like one of the steps of mercy was what happened at Dysfunction Junction, and I want to cultivate that even greater to where my capacity to hold people is greater that have anger and have had abuse in their life like I have in my past. I think I've walked it so nobody else has to, and it'll stop with me. So I want to grant people mercy in that space. So I'm declaring that.
Thank you. I want to just add this on this whole conversation with mercy. Paul, when he was writing the letter to the Corinthians, this is in 2 Corinthians 4, he says, "Therefore, since we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we do not lose heart. But we have renounced the hidden things of shame."
Renounce the hidden things of shame.
Yeah.
I renounce the hidden things of shame.
And then in 16 it says, "Therefore we do not lose heart, even though our outward man is perishing, yet the inward man is being renewed day by day." So.
Boom. You're welcome. Dennis and I had made a commitment prior to this class, and correct me if, you know, but we've decided to be very vulnerable and transparent about our relationship and what's being up and present in the energy and what's happening inside of our lives, and giving it like gold inside of this space. And we are open and very transparent to any questions that you have for us, anything that you need support with as well. Inside of that, we're just going to open our hearts fully and allow it to be seen, all the things. So that's what we're dedicated inside of this space to doing. Just allowing you to fully see inside of our lives and the heart of what God's doing. We demonstrated that today, and so, yeah.
And so if you come back next week, like come back with questions or whatever, and we'll be on this journey together. So I really look forward to this new chapter of the living word.
That we're living it, you know, so we're not just saying it, we're actually going to show where this is popping up and being inside of our lives. So, well, I'll probably have some stories to tell about mercy.
David, do you want to start the song?
I want to acknowledge David really quick before he presses play. You always come and you show up, and you've been doing this work for quite some time, and I just appreciate you so much for being the guy that comes in, sets up, and holds the fort down for us and sees our cues, and just thank you. I appreciate your presence. This is what we just read. It's called Matthew 5.
Came for the saints and the sinners. Game clock hit the shot for the winner. In it for the long haul, no sprinter. Got a seat at the table for the dinner. I said the gang go crazy when you show up. Haters hate it when the
Oh.
Send it up, let them hear it. There's freedom in His name when you fear it. Purified in the fire if you're with it. Make peace be soft, put your eyes up. See that city on a hill about to light up. Be a firework child, blow the night up. Yeah, before your time's up. I wanna apologize. I'm the apple of His eye. There's a reason why He makes the sun to shine down on me. He loves me all the time, and that's the reason why He makes the sun to shine down on me. Dripping holy swag, holy swag. I ain't holding nothing back, nothing back. Pop it back up in His bag, in His bag. Ay. Holy girls out here living godly. I ain't gotta feel a thing 'cause He got me. No, that's every single time, not proudly. Ay, reppin' proudly. Ay, yeah, okay, no lie, I feel Him inside. He took the old me and gave me new life. No, there's no shame, the hate is dislike. But Jesus stepped in, erased my past wife. Other words, you know He making me new, so I'ma live for Him. Anything He tell me I'll do, can't say indifferent. Narrow path He walking me through, don't gotta know it all. Every day I gotta stay humble, I ride before the fall. But when I walk in the room, yeah, you know it's lit. That's that confidence, I'm my heavenly Father's kid. Blessings prominent, all the glory, you know it's His. Spread His love through the continents, they like, where you been? Even when the sun goes down, you can find me. Even when the lights go out, you can find me. Even if the rain comes down, you can find me, find me, find me, find me. Even when the sun goes down, you can find me. Even when the lights go out, you can find me. Even if the rain comes down, you can find me, find me, find me, find me.
Got that holy swag, baby.
We gon' step to the left, we gon' slide to the right, we gon' kick at the dip, gon' turn to the left, y'all, just like this. We gon' step to the left, we gon' slide to the right, we gon' kick at the dip, gon' turn to the left, y'all, just like this. It go, so gon' turn to the left, y'all, just like this. It go, yeah, we gon' turn to the left, y'all, just like this.
Woo! Got that Matthew 5 and that holy swag.
Thank you, David, for being here. Joseph, appreciate you, brother. And we got Kubi and Max and Emma.
Marquise left the building, but we
Marquise.
appreciate him.
Yeah. Just thank you for being here, and have a beautiful week.
All right, thank you for all you shared. Y'all too.
Ciao.